The People's Action Movement, PAM, should be open to having discussions with the People's Labour Party, the PLP, to form a coalition ahead of the next general elections in St. Kitts and Nevis. That's the view of political analyst and pollster Peter Wickham, who was a guest on the latest edition of Newsline 360, the current affairs and news show on TVC Channel 40 on the cable.
My general view is that PAM individually, I don't see it going anywhere as an individual entity standing alone. And I think that the PLP can do some severe damage to it if it decides to stand as its own political party. If, however, PAM enters a coalition, and you mentioned 60 years, they've been in office 20 some odd years of that 60 years, and the vast majority of the time they've been in office, it has been in coalition. So my point is that if PAM correctly sees a coalition as the way forward, if PAM correctly identifies that they made an error in breaking up the last coalition it was part of, I think then that PAM would do the right thing and say, look, there's a logic in coalition, there's a logic in an association, and the success of the entity will require heavily a solid relationship with another political partner or another political player in that regard. So yeah, I definitely do think that the idea of PAM standing alone in this current environment is something that is not likely to it's not likely to be beneficial to them in the short term.
The Unity Coalition, which included the People's Action Movement, the Concerned Citizens Movement of Nevis, and the PLP, disbanded in 2022, primarily due to disagreements over the leadership style of then Prime Minister and PLP leader Dr. Timothy Harris. However, Mr. Wickham believes that PAM can still engage in negotiations with the PLP as the key figures in PAM are no longer pursuing political office.
My thing now with PAM, which I think is interesting, is that the old PAM is gone. The old leader is gone. The old MPs that were there, Jonal Powell and I've also Lindsey Grant, neither of them seem to be interested in continuing in politics. The fact that you have a new slate of people means that you can have new negotiations, and I think that is something that is to their benefit. If the new people that come in decide, look, we don't want any association with PLP, then my old argument comes back into play. But I think the fact that the old players who were clearly not comfortable with that arrangement have essentially fallen on the swords, I think that it gives you the opportunity as an organization to look at possibilities in a way that you didn't before. And now that leadership is settled, I do think that there's a possibility for that to happen.
The People's Action Movement appointed a new leader in 2024, Natasha Gray Brooks, the first woman to lead a political party on St. Kitts. The episode of Newsline 360 discussing St. Kitts and Nevis politics can be viewed on the TVC website, tvcplus.live, by clicking on TV shows. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.